Hello and welcome everyone. This is Cavalier Astoria and today we're back to playing Call of Duty World at War.
This is it, Miller.
Okay, keep it together and we'll get through this in 3 days.
So this is the assault on Peleliu. Peleliu is oftentimes kind of a forgotten island, but it was absolutely critical as a part of the island hopping campaign. Partly because of the airfield on it. Got it, Sergeant. But basically, the Marines had to take the airfield on the island, so then that way they could set up bombers to start bombing Japan.
Is that one of ours? Fuck. East Ridge. There's a 200mm on the point.
And yeah, we're getting shot by the cliffs flanking beaches, which was an actual problem. Now, as for inaccuracies, this landing craft is way too small. This, it should really hold a platoon, which is like 40 guys. We got 8. We got a fifth of that. This is like a small, like, squad-sized tractor. Also, there's no ramp on here. Yeah, there's no ramp back there. Oh, Koopman just got shot. And now we're going to drown. Yeah, that was an actual real problem that a lot of troops actually had. It was more common with Higgins boats, but getting stuck on the coral reefs was a legitimate problem. I think I accidentally threw a smoke grenade instead. Alright, let's call in rocket barrage. Yeah, to be honest, I think ours could have easily gotten over, but yeah, I accidentally hit smoke. I'm kind of smart. Alright. Now we gotta wade through. He just randomly died for no reason. And of course, we got the good old bayonet on. Oh. Fun fact, there's a hole somewhere around here. Where you can have the Easter egg where you can unlock the, oh, it's this one. Where you could get the ray gun in the campaign. I'm not gonna do that, I'm gonna stick with the M1.
Ready? Up and over. Enemy movement. Shit. Put him down.
And yeah, here's... Again, I just like this. It actually shows the aftermath as well. It's not afraid.
Fix bayonets. Use them if you have
And there's
to.
flamethrowers, which was a staple in the Pacific War. Contrary to popular belief, it is not a war crime to use flamethrowers in combat. It's frequently thought, and that's why, you know, modern militaries don't use them. While there is some related war crimes with the flamethrower, it's mostly stuff like you can't burn down, like, nature without... Damn, keep hitting 4 instead of 6. But, you can't, like, burn down foliage that doesn't have enemy positions in it. But that's not the reason why militaries stopped using the flamethrower. The reason why they stopped using it is because of, well, it's just... like, it's not actually that useful in combat. I know, like, a lot of people really like the flamethrower. It's, like, an awesome... It's awesome. It looks cool. It looks great, especially for cinema. Oh, throw that grenade. Down before I get killed. But, yeah, it's a... It looks great on camera. And that's why I think, like, a lot of people think that it's, like, super useful. It was absolutely used, but it's one of those things, though, where a flamethrower is very short range. Like, shorter than a submachine gun. It's pretty much at that point you have to be point blank with the enemy. And flamethrower units took huge amount of casualties because of that. And that's why they stopped using flamethrowers is because you have to get so close to the enemy, and if you're at that range, it's almost just as effective just to run up and throw a bunch of grenades in as it is to use the flamethrower. And the difference is that if you have guys with grenades, you can still have them carry a rifle in order to have them be useful at longer range, versus if you have a flamethrower, you can only use him as a flamethrower guy. You can't really carry a secondary weapon with him, other than, like, a pistol. Yeah, try to win against me in a bayonet fight. You're not gonna win. Oh, in here? Here's a shotgun. I'll talk about this in a little bit. But yeah, flamethrowers just aren't really that effective in actual combat. I mean, they were effective, and the guys who wielded it used it with great ability and obviously skill. It takes a lot of courage to run up to very close range to start and use a flamethrower in order to clear out enemies. But yeah, it's just not that useful in actual combat scenarios. Well, it's useful in some. Like in this particular area, having a flamethrower would be great. But if you're trying to build like an army that can fight in multiple areas, it's probably best just to keep the flamethrowers at home. Which is why modern militaries don't carry them around. Now, we have the good old shotgun. Now, this is actually the famous trench gun, which is the during World War I. You have the story of the Kaiser saying that they'll kill any American soldiers wielding shotguns because it's a war crime. And this is the one thing that everyone knows about it. And, you know, a lot of people think, oh, then that makes it, like, the greatest weapon ever. What is down here? Oh, is this just an alternate way of entering? Yeah, it's just an alternate way of entering. But while the Kaiser did complain about the shotguns being a quote-unquote war crime, A, they're not, and B, the reason why he did it was literally because he wanted to try to draw international attention away from his guys for the use of chlorine gas. Basically, he was like trying to point out, hey, you know, the U.S. Uses, you know, shotguns, so therefore we're justified in our little using chlorine gas, which is a weak argument considering the fact that the Entente used the chlorine gas as well, so he could have easily just used that, but he was literally just trying to pick up anything to kind of show, hey, we're not the bad guys in this war. Keep throwing smoke. Alright, let's hit that. But yeah, it really wasn't a war crime. And to be honest, shotguns just weren't used in World War I that often. They're incredibly useful tools, but in trench warfare. But do I have someone else? The problem is I threw smoke because again I'm an idiot. But yeah, shotguns just weren't. Where's the other guy? Where the hell is the other tank? Is it literally just this guy down here? Hang on, I'm trying to figure out something. Is it you? Still fighting? Please don't tell me I'm soft locked. What? Oh, I guarantee you it's some guy in there. I heard a Japanese voice. There we go. Okay, so it's not the tanks, it was a guy down there hiding. Yeah, shotguns just weren't used in World War I. Because this was back when they had paper cartridges. And paper cartridges in trench warfare, in muddy trenches, they did not mix well.
What now, Sarge? Secure the surrounding area. Wait for the Major's orders.
When do we rest?
And in no way, shape, or form is Sullivan in danger. Oh no, he's in danger.
Sullivan, no, hold on, you're gonna be okay. Corpsman!
Alright. And with that,
By Sullivan's death. We just never saw it coming.
Roebuck
Can't believe it.
is now our squad leader.
Courageous Marine we've ever known. Blink of an eye. Gone. Now it's down to me. And me alone. To lead these men, my brothers, safely through this campaign. AA fire from Peleliu Airfield is knocking our planes right out of the sky. Taking this airfield is our only priority. Whatever the cost.
Alright, let's go ahead and hit the next mission.
Back to the States.
I thought Sullivan would make it through for sure.
So this is the actual assault on the airfield.
Can't let it happen again.
So now Roebuck is a sergeant,
Hojo's got a tight hold on
which I'm gonna be honest, I don't think there was enough time to actually promote him to sergeant.
We take the flank.
You can't kind of just pretend that you're a sergeant. He would still be a corporal at this rank. At this
Stay
point.
sharp.
Now obviously we have the BAR and a Colt 1911.
Poor bastard must have been shot down this morning.
Fuselage is still smoking. Check for survivors.
It's all snarled up on something. Shit! Grenade!
And that was a very common tactic by the Japanese. They would booby trap dead, they would booby trap anything. To try to get the jump on US soldiers. And of course you got the famous bonsai charge. Which funny enough was not just actually performed by Japanese military, but the US military did it once. In Europe,
Can't believe they booby trap our dead.
442nd Regimental Combat Team launched a bonsai charge against the Germans. It basically is like a, it's an old Japanese practice, I think from since the Sengoku Jidai.
Kinda late. Sounds like the bitch is kicking ass.
MG's in the bunkers up ahead!
5th is 5th Infantry, 5th Marine Division. Regiment. 5th Marine Regiment.
Everyone, go! Go!
Alright, let's go.
Take that position! I'm on it!
Alright. So, I do also like this. You're not doing a head-on assault. You're flanking around the position, taking the bunkers from the side, which is what you would do. You would send a force around to get suppressing fire on the enemy up front, and then you would send around a force to flank. Not enough games do that. Alright. Don't really want a bolt-action rifle. I'm really looking for the submachine gun. Like that. This is the standard issue Japanese submachine gun of the war. Type 100. That's about as much as I know about the Type 100. Should probably do a bit more research and make a video on it. Because it seems like a really interesting submachine gun. What's our Grimmy guy there? Alright. So now let's keep pushing. Got more flamethrowers. This is another thing that I actually quite like about the AI in this game. they actually do genuinely help, as far as I can tell. And they're kind of smart. They're not gonna just stand there and allow themselves to get blown up by a grenade. Like I did just then.
Carve a path through.
Oh, have to re-clear out this bunker. Alright. Generally speaking, I would probably, as a whole, rank Japanese weapons kind of low. If I was making a tier list of like all like World War II weapons, I'd probably rank Japanese weapons fairly low. I mean, they're serviceable, without a doubt. Like, there's nothing inherently wrong with them. It's just one of those things, though, where it's like, especially with the machine guns, they're just, it seems like every other nation just had better stuff. But then again, I don't actually know that much about Japanese firearms. I know the Arisakas in 6.5. I think I'm out of ammo for that. Yep. Up to the BAR. And that's about all I know. I know they copied the M1 Grand, but that was a prototype. Well, not a prototype. Again, it's the one thing I don't actually know a whole lot about is Japanese weapons. I know quite a bit about their tactics. Also, they were also somewhat organization. They were actually fairly modern when it came to doctrine, of tank doctrine. It's just one of those things that where they, for some reason, went backwards in terms of tank doctrine and started not really focusing on tanks. Which is why in World War II, the US tanks were just superior. And really, I'm just waiting for this guy to die. Alright. Okay, now we got the Flamethrower. Alright. The M2 Flamethrower, the standard issue flamethrower of the US Marine Corps and Army. It's a flamethrower. It shoots flames. It's awesome. As much as I said earlier how the flamethrower is practically not that great of a weapon. I will be damned if I said it's not cool. Although it would be horrifying to actually face in combat. Because being burned alive is never fun. At all. Not that dying is ever fun, but... yeah, I think being burned alive is one of the few things I don't want to do. Now, this is a common thing with, ooh, I burnt one of my guys there. But it's a common thing in video games that for some reason flamethrowers just have unlimited ammo. And, that's just not true. Flamethrower is actually only... like, I'm talking like seconds in terms of like how much actual flame you'd have. Like, you fire that, and then you're out. It's... you did not have a whole lot of actual, like, flame to actually, like, use. And once you had that, you were down to your pistol, and that was it. Oh, God. Alright, let's move up. Anderson, get out of my way.
Supply truck, get ahead. Miller's Polanski, follow me.
Again, I like this little section. It's just slowly crawling through a whole bunch of dead, wounded, and just fighting through it. He really should have a guy loading for him. Oh god. Oh god, I whipped that. And we got the grenade launcher! So, how a old school rifle grenade works is that you would put the grenade at the end of the barrel, load a blank, you don't fire a live round, you load a blank, and then aim and shoot. I missed that. I got it. Got that. Got that. I think this is the best I've ever done with a grenade launcher. I am awful at grenade launchers. Okay, let's move up the flamethrower. Yeah, flamethrowers are good at clearing out hard points, which are like bunkers, trenches, that stuff, and buildings like this. But that's really all they're kind of good for. You're not gonna ever use them for for like general combat. And you back off. Use my M1. Okay, let's peek out. Alright. Trust the M1. Never lets anyone down. I mean, that's actually a very useful thing with the flamethrower, is just being able to run and just spray the entire room in gasoline and fire. And here's quite possibly my favorite part of this mission, and also my least favorite part.
It never is, but we can do this, Polanski, okay?
And this was an actual thing, where Marines had to charge across the airfield in order to actually take the, in order to seize it. Now the thing I don't like is stuff like this, where you have the Japanese tank here against the American tanks. And you see the Japanese being able to destroy our tanks, and they would be able to do it. But then you see the American tanks fire, and it does nothing. Especially at the ranges that we're talking about here. Which is just flat out not true. Japanese tanks just sucked. They were mainly designed to fight in China. They weren't really designed to fight peer-to-peer forces. And it's kind of annoying because, again, it's the classic World War II trope. The M1 Sherman sucked. And Japanese and, well, Axis tanks were just superior in every single way. And also the fact that the bazooka only... It takes 3 shots of the bazooka to kill 1 Japanese tank. It's just ridiculous, especially at this range. Like, that should have been a kill. Right there. Japanese tanks were not heavily armored. They just weren't. They were pretty thinly armored, and also they kind of suck from an ergonomic standpoint. Basically, like, I know in one Japanese tank, I'll look up the exact one later, but it's basically where the loader, the driver, and the tank commander basically are spooning each other in the tank. Because that's all the room that they had. They were just packed in like sardines. Die! Okay. Now let's grab the flamethrower. Or do I want to grab something else? And let's grab the Type 100. Back to submachine gun. But yeah, the run across the airfield is historically accurate. That happened in you had to sprint across the airfield in order to take out the defenses on the other side. But the American tank should have just... It should have just wiped the floor with Japanese tanks. Oh god. I was screwed there. Alright, let's try this again. Woo! I'm gonna try to back myself into a corner. So that way I can better defend. Getting Banzai charged. Alright. Hope that grenade does not kill me. It did not. Getting bayonet charged again. That's how effective most of them were, by the way. Because turns out bullets beat bayonets most of the times. How did I miss that? Let's move in. Actually take this airfield. Also, the AI attempts to throw grenades back. Alright, let's move up. If you want to, you could actually man this AA gun and turn it on the enemy and just start shooting at them, which is a fun thing. Getting hit by one of these would suck. And speaking of suck, this anti-aircraft gun, I can't remember the exact designation, but it's the same thing as the naval gun, 25. This has a serious argument of being quite possibly one of the worst anti-aircraft guns in World War II. And the reason why is because, ignoring video game logic, I would not be able to fire this many rounds out of it purely for one reason. These are a clip-fed system, so you would have to have someone physically run up, take the clip out, put the new clip in, and then you would fire it, then you have to repeat the process. This made it quite possibly one of the worst, like, any aircraft guns, because it just fired slow. And it also was basically the Japanese medium anti-aircraft gun, because they didn't really have a dedicated medium anti-aircraft gun to hit enemy targets at medium range. And that meant that a lot of their ships were vulnerable. Yeah, this thing would have sucked. It takes 2 crew plus loaders, and generally speaking, it would take 5 guys to fire this thing. It was awful. You could make a serious argument that would be one of the worst anti-aircraft guns of the entire war. I should probably pay attention, because we're not done yet.
Yes, sir. Understood. Everyone take position. Eyes forward. Stay strong. We are holding this airfield.
Alright, now we're defending against counterattack. And there's plenty of red barrels around, because of course there is. I should probably actually get on this. Because as much as it's a shitty-ass anti-aircraft gun, it still fires lead. It still hurts when you get shot with it. that off, regenerate my health.
Positions on the tower.
I'm gonna try to blow that tower up. And the tanks can be destroyed with this. I'm gonna get down before I get killed. And help my guys. Help my guys repel enemy attackers who've gotten up. Alright. I think we're almost over. Just a stack of M1s and bars. And with that, that's actually the first part of the American campaign done. And now we're going to be heading off to Stalingrad. Which will be next time. Thank you for joining. This was Cavalier Astoria. Been subscribed. And have an excellent day.